Hey everyone, and welcome back to the All Sorts Podcast. For today's deep dive, we're going to be looking at some Wikipedia excerpts on a pretty epic topic.
Oh, yeah.
The explosive finale of the Metalocalypse saga.
Metalocalypse?
Yeah, the 2023 film Metalocalypse.
Oh.
Army of the Doomstar.
Okay.
This is the culmination of a series that's captivated fans for years, and we're going to try to unpack what makes this final chapter so memorable.
I think a really interesting thing about this movie is how it picks up right where the Metalocalypse, the Doomstar Requiem special left off.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The world is literally on the brink of destruction.
Oh, wow.
And it's all orchestrated by this terrifying Mr. Salaa.
Oh, jeez.
And Dethklok. They're back! They're back! The world's most popular death metal band is tasked with writing the Song of Salvation.
The Song of Salvation.
Yeah, a tune so powerful it can prevent total annihilation.
Wow. I mean, imagine the pressure these guys are in.
Oh, yeah.
Dethklok isn't just a band. They're a global phenomenon.
Right.
Their every action has repercussions, from, influencing economies to sparking riots.
Oh, for sure.
But this time, the stakes are higher than ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the weight of the world falls squarely on Nathan Explosion's shoulders.
You know, Nathan's character arc in this film is actually really fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's this brutal, growling frontman, but at the same time, he's battling some serious internal demons.
Oh, wow.
He's dealing with PTSD from past events, a failed marriage proposal.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
All while facing the impending doom of, well, everything.
Oh, jeez.
I think it's this contrast between his outward persona and his vulnerability that makes him such a compelling character.
It really makes you wonder, could anyone, even a hardened metalhead like Nathan Explosion, really handle that kind of pressure?
That's a good question.
And speaking of pressure, the band retreats to a secret studio guided by the ever-enigmatic Dick Nubler.
Yeah, Nubler's role here is key.
Really?
He's not just a producer. He's almost like a spiritual guide for the band. He provides the space and the direction they need to create something truly powerful.
Interesting.
It kind of mirrors those real-world dynamics between bands and producers.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the creative tension, the isolation, the struggle to produce something extraordinary.
Right. Yeah.
Think of legendary producers like Rick Rubin or George Martin.
Oh, yeah.
They're more than just technicians. They have a deep understanding of the creative process.
It's like they're almost mystical figures shaping the sound and guiding the destiny of these iconic bands.
Yeah.
But as if Dethklok doesn't have enough on their plate, they also face an enemy within the Reveres. General Crozier, one of the few forces trying to stop the apocalypse, is being possessed by Mr. Salaa.
This possession angle adds such a chilling layer to the story.
Okay.
It taps into that primal fear of the unknown,
Right.
of something insidious taking control from within.
Yeah.
Remember those scenes where Murderface is being manipulated by Salacia's influence?
Yes.
Totally unnerving.
Yeah.
And it highlights how even the strongest wills can be vulnerable to manipulation, especially when facing something as powerful as Salaa.
It reminds me of that saying, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
Right.
And speaking of tricks, Dethklok accidentally writes the wrong song.
Oh, no.
I mean, how do you even mess that up when the fate of the world is hanging in the balance?
Well, it's a classic case of creative block, but, on an apocalyptic scale.
I guess. Well,
Imagine the pressure, the fear of failure, the self-doubt swirling in their minds.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're paralyzed by the enormity of the task, and that paralysis leads to disaster.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
And this is where the film plunges headfirst into full-blown Metalocalypse mode, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
The imagery in this sequence is incredibly vivid,
I bet.
and the destruction of global millions are perishing. It's truly chilling depiction of a world collapsing under the weight of its own chaos. Yeah. Yeah, it's a stark reminder of the fragility of our existence. But amidst all this chaos and destruction, there's this surprising moment of redemption.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Murderface, despite being manipulated by Salaa, is ultimately forgiven by his bandmates.
That is powerful.
Yeah.
Dethklok, for all their brutality and absurdity, is ultimately a brotherhood.
Right.
They recognize that Murderface's negativity, while often problematic, is part of what makes them whole.
Yeah, you see that idea in a lot of band dynamics.
Oh, yeah?
Like there's often that one member who's a bit more difficult, but they contribute something essential to the group's sound.
Right.
Think of the Beatles without the tension between Lennon and McCartney.
Oh, yeah.
Would they have created such groundbreaking music?
That's a good point.
It highlights the importance of accepting people for who they are, flaws and all,
It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, compassion and forgiveness can prevail.
For sure.
And then, just when you think things can't get any more insane, the film reveals the true army of the Doomstar.
And it turns out to be...
Who is it?
the fans.
The fans.
That's brilliant. The very people who have always been a chaotic force in the Metalocalypse universe become the ultimate force for good.
Wow.
It's the ultimate validation for anyone who's ever felt a deep connection to music.
Do you think the film goes too far in suggesting that fandom can literally save the world? Or is there a deeper message here about the power of collective belief?
That's a great question. I think it's more about the power of unity and shared passion.
Yeah.
The fans, united by their love for Dethklok, become a force capable of overcoming even the darkest evil.
Wow.
It speaks to the idea that when people come together with a common purpose, they can achieve extraordinary things.
That's true.
And let's not forget Charles Oftinson's role in all of this.
Oh, yeah. What about him?
He goes from Dethklok's manager to the leader of the Church of the Blacklock, essentially becoming a spiritual guide for the fandom.
Speaking of leadership, Charles Oftinson undergoes a fascinating transformation in this film.
Oh, yeah.
He recognizes the power that Dethklok holds, not just musically, but on like a metaphysical level. Right. And he uses that understanding to unite the fans and channel their energy toward a common purpose.
He becomes almost like a conductor,
Oh, wow.
orchestrating this massive outpouring of energy from the fans.
That's pretty cool.
He understands the profound connection between the band and their followers, and he leverages that connection to fight against Salacia's darkness.
Yeah.
The scene where he faces off against Vadar Orlog is incredibly powerful.
I bet.
It's a clash between two opposing forces, the pragmatic versus the spiritual.
Oh, wow.
And it's ultimately Oftinson's belief in the power of the fans that allows him to triumph.
That scene gives me chills just thinking about it.
Yeah.
But even with the fans on their side, Dethklok still has to face Salacia in his final terrifying form.
And it's in this final confrontation that Nathan's true potential is unlocked.
Really?
Remember, he's been struggling throughout the film, doubting himself, battling his demons.
Right.
But when everything is on the line, he taps into the power of the Doomstar,
Oh, wow.
becoming a conduit for the fans' collective energy.
He finally embraces his destiny.
Right.
It's like he transcends his physical form and becomes something more,
Yeah.
something greater than himself.
Absolutely.
The visual of him deflecting Salacia's attacks with that surge of energy is breathtaking.
It's a visual representation of music's power to transcend boundaries and overcome even the most formidable obstacles.
That's a good point.
And the fact that Salacia is ultimately defeated by the whale prophet, this ancient mystical creature, adds another layer of surreal beauty to the whole thing.
It's as if the film is saying that even in the face of ultimate evil, there's still hope, there's still beauty, and there's still a place for something as powerful as music to make a difference.
Yeah, it's this powerful reminder that, we don't always have to rely on traditional heroes or brute force to overcome challenges.
Right.
Sometimes it's the seemingly insignificant, the outcasts, the passionate fans that hold the key to our salvation. And in the end, it's not just about saving the world, it's about Dethklok's evolution.
So?
They finally realize that their true purpose, their true great reuniting, lies in their connection with the fans.
That's an interesting point. It's almost like the fans become an extension of the band, their energy and devotion fueling Dethklok's power.
Yeah.
But isn't there a danger in placing too much emphasis on the power of fans?
Oh, yeah.
Could it lead to a kind of mob mentality where critical thinking is abandoned in favor of blind devotion?
That's a valid concern. Fandom, like any powerful force, can be misused or manipulated. But I think the film ultimately celebrates the positive aspects of fandom.
Okay.
The sense of community, the shared passion, the ability to inspire and uplift. Yeah. It's a reminder that even in a world filled with darkness and chaos, there are still things worth fighting for.
Right.
Things that can bring us together and make us feel truly alive.
What's striking about Metalocalypse, Army of the Doomstar, is its ability to balance this over-the-top humor with genuine heart.
Yeah.
We're talking about a film where a death metal band battles a demonic entity with the power of their music. And yet, amidst the absurdity, there are these moments of surprising depth and emotion.
Yeah, it's like a heavy metal opera full of bombast and pathos.
The film really does tap into the full spectrum of human emotion, from the depths of despair to the heights of exhilaration.
And it does so in a way that's both entertaining and thought-provoking.
Absolutely. Think about those scenes where Nathan is confronting his inner demons.
Right.
Or when the band rallies around Murderface despite his flaws.
Yeah.
Those moments hit hard, because they tap into universal human experiences.
Mm-hmm.
The struggle for identity, the importance of friendship, the power of forgiveness.
Precisely, and it's through these moments of genuine emotion that the film transcends its genre trappings and becomes something truly special.
Yeah.
It's not just a silly cartoon about a death metal band. It's a story about the human condition, about our capacity for both great darkness and great light.
So as we conclude our deep dive into the world of Metalocalypse, we're left with a final provocative thought for you, dear listener. Does fandom, while powerful, also have a dark side? Can you think of any real-world examples where passionate fan bases have been led astray or manipulated? Is there a danger in surrendering too much of ourselves to the idols we worship?
It's a question worth pondering, and as always, we encourage you to seek out the source material for yourself, experience the epic conclusion of Metalocalypse, and draw your own conclusions.
And that, my friends, brings us to the end of another deep dive on the All Sorts podcast. We hope you've enjoyed exploring the world of Metalocalypse, Army of the Doomstar, with us.
It's been fun.
Remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more insightful and engaging deep dives into the worlds of music, film, and beyond. And don't forget to follow us on X, Instagram, and Threads to stay up to date on all the latest from the All Sorts podcast. We'll be back soon with another fascinating topic, so until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those All Sorts flags flying high.